If you ask passersby in South Korea, who is the most famous heir of a Chaebol family? Half of the respondents would tell you it's Lee Jae-yong, the only son of the late chairman of the Samsung Group. The others would mention two names. First, Cho Hyun-ah, the princess of Korean heir, and the other is Hwang Ha-na, the granddaughter of the chairman of Namyang Dairy Products. The name Hwang Ha-na is probably the most familiar to fans of Korean entertainment, as she is the ex-girlfriend of the star Park Yoochun, former member of the famous second-generation K-pop group TVXQ. From the fiancé of a Hallyu superstar to the granddaughter of a Chaebol family who was kicked out of the house. What happened to Hwang Ha-na? You are watching the case of Chaebol Heiress Hwang Ha-na, the ex-girlfriend of TVXQ's Heartthrob and Her Dark Side, on the True Crime in the World channel. And as usual, if this story leaves an impression on you, don't hesitate to give us a like as encouragement. If this is the first time we've met, hit subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to stay updated on the most classic cases. Namyang Dairy Products is one of the three giants in the dairy industry in South Korea. The company owns many products ranging from dairy, nutritional foods, to real estate. The stock of Namyang Dairy Products once experienced a significant increase. Therefore, although it cannot compare to Samsung or Hyundai, this nutrition conglomerate is also very powerful. Today's main character is Hwang Ha-na, the only granddaughter of the founder of Namyang Dairy Products. Like other heiresses of the wealthy class in Korea, she often uses luxury brands and frequents high-end restaurants. By sharing her luxurious experiences, she has become an influencer on social media. In 2017, the name Hwang Ha-na became more familiar to the public when she became engaged to the star Park Yoochun. Park Yoochun is a famous singer and actor in the Korean entertainment industry. He is a former member of the K-pop group TVXQ and has starred in many hit dramas like Sungkyunkwan Scandal, Rooftop Prince. In 2015, Park Yoochun enlisted in the military. During this time, his reputation was severely damaged due to multiple allegations of abuse by women. In April 2017, paparazzi captured intimate photos of Park Yoochun and Hwang Ha-na on the street. Later, both openly revealed they were engaged and would marry in September of that year. But that September, no wedding between the actor and the heiress of the Namyang Dairy Products took place. A few months later, they announced their breakup. Journalists also noticed that the tattoo of Hwang Ha-na's portrait on the former TVXQ member's arm had gradually disappeared. Not long after, on her personal Instagram account, Hwang Ha-na posted a status full of frustration. Although she didn't name the person she was referring to, the keywords used immediately made the public think of her ex-boyfriend, Park Yoochun. However, as soon as speculations arose, Hwang Ha-na's post suddenly disappeared. At that time, netizens speculated that the Chaebol heiress might be worried about legal issues by targeting her former fiancé, or she had achieved her purpose shortly after posting. No one knew the truth. But the noisy breakup of these two did not end there. Very soon after, Hwang Ha-na was anonymously reported for using banned substances. However, as she continuously refused police requests, the investigation did not proceed smoothly. In April 2019, at a hospital in Gyeonggi-do, after an examination, Hwang Ha-na was found to have used methamphetamine and was immediately arrested. During the interrogation, she partially admitted to the crime, while also accusing her ex-boyfriend, Park Yoochun, of secretly injecting the substance into her arm while she was asleep. But of course, this was absurd since they had broken up 2 years prior. Or had they reconciled? After the news broke, Park Yoochun held a press conference to clear all doubts, affirming his innocence. He committed to assisting the police in the investigation. Park Yoochun also stated that if he was involved with banned substances, he would immediately withdraw from the entertainment industry. Actor Park Yoochun said, "Early last year, I decided to go our separate ways with Hwang Ha-na. After the breakup, I was constantly threatened by her, but out of responsibility and feeling that I was also at fault, I did not speak up. I do not use banned substances, nor do I encourage others to use them. To me, this is truly unimaginable. I accept the investigation." On one side, Hwang Ha-na insisted that her ex-fiancé was responsible for her positive drug test result. But on the other, during the press conference, the drama heartthrob shed tears and affirmed his innocence. The battle between them escalated. The police identified Park Yoochun as the main suspect. Both he and Hwang Ha-na had their personal assets seized and case files opened. After a few days, the investigation team found traces of crystal meth on Park Yoochun's legs. The actor was arrested urgently. It turned out that the tears and vows from the previous press conference were nothing but a performance. In this case, both defendants claimed the other was the mastermind. Not long after, the court sentenced both Park Yoochun and Hwang Ha-na to 2 years suspended prison sentences for drug use. They were immediately released. After the verdict was announced, the prosecution quickly appealed, arguing that Hwang Ha-na had been suspected of drug use for many years, thus requiring a harsher penalty to prevent recidivism. However, the appellate court dismissed all appeals, maintaining the initial decision. This ruling led the public to question whether Chaebol families had exerted pressure on the court, given the surprisingly lenient sentence compared to the negative impact these two had on society. In fact, this was not the first time Hwang Ha-na had been suspected of involvement with stimulants. In 2015, when arresting a group of students caught using banned substances illegally, one of them claimed to have gotten the goods from Hwang Ha-na and then used them together. In the investigation records concerning crystal meth, Hwang Ha-na's name appeared 7 to 8 times, but in the end, it was always deemed there was insufficient evidence, and the recommendation was not to prosecute. After the 2019 incident, the heiress of the Namyang Dairy Products showed no remorse. She even bragged to acquaintances that even while under investigation, she was invited into the police chief's office. A photo proving this was also posted on social media. When an audio recording of Hwang Ha-na's foolish statements was leaked, public anger was immense, to the extent that the company behind this heiress also faced consequences. At that time, Hong Won-sik, the chairman of Namyang Dairy Products and Hwang Ha-na's uncle, who was very close to the police chief, sent an apology letter regarding the methamphetamine allegations against his niece. The businessman also expressed his disgust towards his niece and affirmed that Hwang Ha-na was not involved in the company's operations. Although on the surface, Namyang Dairy Products and the Hwang family had severed all connections, in reality, her mother still held shares in the corporation. Over the years, she had used the family's influence to whitewash her daughter's reputation. As for Hwang Ha-na, despite saying she wanted to go home to reflect, she continued to post about her lavish, extravagant lifestyle on social media every day. In June 2020, the heiress of the Namyang Group posted a lengthy message on social media. Little did she know that 6 months later, she would again be investigated for drug violations, while her suspended sentence was still in effect. The difference with this case was that 2 more individuals were investigated alongside the Chaebol Heiress. Both of these individuals committed suicide after confessing. One of them was Oh Se-yong, the mysterious fiancé Hwang Ha-na had never revealed. In September 2020, Oh Se-yong went to the police station and confessed that he had hallucinations due to methamphetamine use. He admitted to being Hwang Ha-na's boyfriend and claimed he had secretly injected the substance into her arm while she was asleep. Indeed, this testimony was entirely consistent with what Hwang Ha-na had claimed in the case involving Park Yoochun. However, unlike the strong denials from her former boyfriend, her fiancé from the Oh family confessed everything. Was Hwang Ha-na a sleeping beauty? Why did both of her boyfriends do this while she was dreaming? This time, the police were determined to investigate thoroughly. They were suspicious. How could Oh Se-yong inject Hwang Ha-na's arm so skillfully if he was only just playing with drugs? Perhaps out of deep love for his girlfriend, throughout the investigation, Oh Se-yong consistently insisted that everything was his doing to Hwang Ha-na. In October 2020, despite being under investigation, Hwang Ha-na and her fiancé from the Oh family secretly registered their marriage. Unlike her usual ostentatious and attention-seeking behavior, this time the heiress was very discreet. However, not long after, on December 18th, Hwang Ha-na got into trouble again when she sneaked into a friend's house and stole some cosmetics, clothes, and designer bags. When discovered, her friend directly posted the elevator surveillance video on social media, revealing that Hwang Ha-na had continued to illegally use methamphetamine. The police immediately began verifying information from witnesses, arresting Hwang Ha-na, Oh Se-yong, and the person who sold to them. At this point, Hwang Ha-na suspected that her newlywed husband had revealed her secrets to her wealthy best friend, so she harmed herself in front of him to ensure he couldn't betray her again. This self-injury tactic might have deceived her husband, Oh Se-yong, but it couldn't fool the police. Hwang Ha-na couldn't escape the investigation. On December 20th, when she was taken in for questioning by the police, her father personally accompanied her. However, immediately after the investigation concluded, the family of the Chaebol Heiress announced that she had run away and her whereabouts were unknown. Hwang Ha-na's mother was also suspected of delivering a letter from her daughter to her son-in-law, Oh Se-yong. It became evident that Hwang Ha-na and her mother had always used this method to coerce their son-in-law from the Oh family. On December 22nd, 2020, Oh Se-yong called a friend, saying he wanted to confess at the Yongsan police station in Seoul and to deny his previous statements. After this call, Oh Se-yong ended his life at his home, leaving behind a letter stating, "I am sorry for involving Hwang Ha-na with banned substances." Why did the content of the letter completely differ from what he said on the phone? Was this letter indeed written by Oh Se-yong? Friends of Oh Se-yong reported that he had shown no signs of wanting to commit suicide before. Everything happened so suddenly. Oh Se-yong had even said that crimes related to stimulants would at most result in 3 to 6 months of imprisonment. Clearly, he was not afraid of the sentence. So, what made him so fearful that he took his own life? Immediately after, a close friend of Oh Se-yong posted a lament on social media, accusing Hwang Ha-na of being involved in the sudden death of his friend and another key witness in the case. It was quite possible that the death of her fiancé would once again help her escape legal punishment. Many conspiracy theories were circulated online, suggesting that both did not commit suicide, but were made to look like they did. Hwang Ha-na was not just a suspect, she might very well be the true perpetrator of these two deaths. Some even jokingly said that Park Yoochun was lucky to keep his life when he broke up with the Chaebol Heiress. Many were convinced that behind these inexplicable events was the manipulation of Hwang Ha-na and the control of Namyang Dairy Products. Could this corporation really do that? Ultimately, how powerful and influential are the Chaebols in Korea? Since the incident between Hwang Ha-na and Park Yoochun, Namyang Dairy Products has faced immense pressure. All figures related to sales, stocks, or corporate image have plummeted drastically. But what Hwang Ha-na did was still nothing compared to the damage to her family's business. In 2013, a dealer for Namyang's nutrition brand reported to the Korea Fair Trade Commission about being forced to sell products that were close to expiration or hard to sell. When the issue first arose, the corporation sued the retailer for defamation while demanding to cancel contracts with all protesting dealers. These stores wouldn't be able to reclaim their franchise fees of 150 million won because they were held responsible for the contract terminations. In May 2013, an audio recording of a Namyang Nutrition Company employee severely cursing out dealers spread across social media. Although the company immediately fired the employee, a boycott of Namyang products erupted. The Korea Fair Trade Commission launched an investigation, and Namyang Dairy Products was found to have violated the law, fined 123 billion won. By August 2013, Namyang's stock price had fallen disastrously to 800,000 won. The corporation's senior management held an official press conference to apologize to the nation. However, during this press conference, the chairman and members of the Hwang Ha-na family did not appear or comment. In 2020, with Hwang Ha-na's second drug-related accusation and the suicides of 2 witnesses, Namyang Dairy Products' stock price dropped sharply to 300,000 won. On January 15, 2021, while their products continued to be boycotted, the sales of their main revenue-generating powdered milk were heavily impacted by the declining birth rate, leading to a 92% drop in Namyang Dairy Products' operating profit. In response, the company introduced several new brands to avoid detection, gradually escaping the wave of opposition. However, on social media, participants in the boycott movement frequently shared Namyang Dairy's brands and products, even developing an app to automatically identify their products via barcode. Namyang Dairy continued to hire an advertising company to target competitors to undermine their credibility. After becoming a hot topic in the news, Namyang Dairy Products posted an apology on social media. However, this post was criticized for lacking sincerity, with every word seemingly evading responsibility and not admitting fault. More and more of the company's misdeeds were exposed, from unfair treatment of retail dealers, hiring online trolls to defame competitors, to false advertising for circulating substandard products. In these years, Korean netizens said, "Hwang Ha-na and Namyang Dairy Products are finished here." On January 7, 2021, alongside the investigation related to actor Parasite Lee Sun-kyun's suicide due to public pressure over drug scandal, Hwang Ha-na was arrested once again for drug use. This time, she received a sentence of 1 year and 6 months for using banned substances during her probation. The reason an evil heiress could exist is that her entire family stood behind to protect her. What's more frightening is that even a relatively small corporation like Namyang Dairy could manipulate power. Thus, larger financial conglomerates could certainly control not just individual fates, but also societal movements. What do you think about this case? Leave your opinions in the comments below for discussion. And before you go, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for updates on the most classic cases.